Welcome to Kicking It with Coach K podcast. This is episode, I think this is 17 or 18. Josh, what are we at? This is 16 today, episode 16. We welcome Christine Burkey in the house. I hope I didn't say that wrong.
Nope, you said it right.
All right, absolutely. I'm going to get into a few things here, and then we're going to dive into your story and kind of learn some things from you today. I'm excited. Different style of podcast today, little change up. We typically have had like a football coach, basketball coach, student athlete. So to get somebody in kind of a different field and just something a little different lane is fun to get on and learn some different things. And I think, so obviously, even before COVID, but I think since COVID, the health and wellness side of things and just life in general and taking care of yourself in those aspects, extremely important. So I think this is an important conversation today to definitely have. So before we dive in, the show is brought to you by Brain Jerk Entertainment, Kennedy Health and Wellness. Welcome to the Brain Jerk era. These guys are all over the place right now. We are blessed to be a part of the Brain Jerk Podcast Network. Again, there's something on, I think, just about every day of the week you can view on this podcast network. These guys are awesome. No matter what you're interested in, they pretty much have something for everybody. So make sure you check out all their shows. Obviously, the comedy shows I've talked about on here a ton of times. Love the comedy shows. Make sure you check them out. June 10th, the blind dining event. Make sure you guys get your tickets if you have not. If you don't know how to get them, check the Brain Jerk Entertainment page. There's always information on all their events. So make sure you check them out. Also, Kennedy Health and Wellness, we're your one-stop shop from everything wellness, from body care and candles to coaching services. My wife just dropped our summer collection. So visit kennedyhealthwellness.com and go check that out. As far as coaching, we obviously have a lot of stuff going on right now. We got our big back prep and sports performance class. That's every week on Saturday from noon to 2 at 1817 CrossFit. We have our flag football league and our football skills camp that's coming up. That's free of charge. That's with the Opportunity Center. The flag football league starts, I believe it's June 23rd. The dates are posted online, though. I actually have a flyer here as well. So the flag football league, you guys can see here, this is online. We also have a football skills camp coming up. This is on June 14th. Make sure you guys check this stuff out. Again, this is with the Opportunity Center at the ALCC, so make sure you guys come on down. It's opportunity for kids to come out and get active, if anything, right? Come out and learn, get active, get better at the game of football, just invest in their movement and their health. To piggyback off of that, we also have a volleyball camp on 7/22, so on July 22nd. Stay tuned for more information on that. So that's some of the coaching stuff that's going on. I do got to give some love to our sponsors. Each one of these businesses does amazing things in our community, and just shout out for them for sponsoring this podcast. Want to make sure I always give these places love. Amaya's Fresh Mexican Grill, the Little Brown Jug, Deb's Floral Designs, Lane's Pizzeria, IWR, Muggsy Sports Grill and Bar, Monroe Sports Center Bowling, Nerdy Designs, All Heart Athletics, Monroe County Sports Network, and 1817 CrossFit. I want to shout out All Heart Athletics real quick as well. They're opening their second location on June 6th in Dundee. So, and I'll actually be down there just helping them just kind of bring in good spirit, pass out some flyers for our football camp and our football league, and just honestly just be there to support them. They're a great group of people in there that do a lot for our community. So to be down there for the opening, I think is important. Make sure you guys stop out to Dundee. So our quote of the day: if you want something you've never had, you must be willing to do something you've never done. And that's by Thomas Jefferson. I chose that because when it comes to fitness or growth in different ways as a character, as a person, it always takes doing something to get to the next level that you didn't do this time, right? When fitness, you hear a lot of people say like, I plateaued, or this happened, I stopped growing. So I think you always have to be willing to adapt and do new things. So I thought that was appropriate today for our show. And just to get one last thing out of the way before we dive in, our book of the week, or our book of this show, I wanted to get back in the swing of kind of promoting reading. So it's Raising World Changers in a Changing World by Kristen Welch. I actually found this, believe it or not, at Ollie's for like a couple bucks, but it interested me. I started reading the back. Great book on different philosophies on kind of getting back to the moral basics of sacrifice, commitment, discipline, some different things of that nature. So check that out. Let's dive in. So share a little bit about, we always start the show with just kind of getting a little bit about your journey, who you are, just kind of the basics. I know everybody could probably go on and on about their story, but just a little bit about yourself and your journey.
Well, hi. So I'm Christine Burkey. So I've been in fitness pretty much my whole life. I played sports way back in high school days. So that's my obviously first passion. Then it,
Right.
went right into working out, having the kids. So you got to figure out how to lose that weight.
Yeah.
But so yeah, then I started running first, and then I didn't like that. So then I became a stay-at-home mom, and then I needed to get out of the house. So that's where I ended up at Go Mad.
Okay.
So yeah,
Definitely.
and then during events, I had to get a big girl job, so I ended up having to put that on the side.
Okay.
Which I would rather that be my main job, but as life happens,
Right, definitely. Definitely. I understand.
So I've been teaching. But I did start way back in the day teaching like fitness classes at the Y. I bounced around a little bit. I was downriver a little bit.
Okay.
I ended up catching on a spin class downriver. That's where I started then. So that's absolutely what I love to do now. So
okay, definitely.
I do personal training on the side still, but unfortunately, with all my time and kids and life, personal training is kind of like a sidebar. So but I am doing spin classes at Go Mad right now. So we're trying to get that going.
Okay.
Yeah.
So real quick, for those who don't know, because there's a lot of stuff now in fitness that has kind of evolved over the years. It's really evolved from just your typical like go for a run or go hit the weights. It's really like so for me, like my cousin invited me one time to do cardio drumming. I'm like, what the hell is cardio drumming? I'm literally like, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
So I'm like, whatever. I'm like, she's like, sells me on it, right?
Yeah.
Great workout.
Yeah.
I see it. I'm like, this is different for sure. It's a heck of a workout.
Yeah.
But I kind of like the different types of styles and evolving. So for those who might not know, like, what is a spin class?
Yeah. So I'm so happy you said that, because honestly, people, outside, how do I say that? They think I'm this really hard nosed, like Jillian Michaels person. Well, I honestly just like to have fun. I'm like this crazy, like, I just want to be goofy, but honestly, you will work. So I try to take your mind off of things, and I
love that thought.
Like almost like a routine on the bike. It's kind of hard to imagine, but I make things to the song to where you're thinking about the move I'm trying to make you do on the bike, instead of like
and thinking
just
about
pedaling your butt off. So,
right.
So honestly, spin class is just a stationary bike.
Okay.
And it's different levels. You have resistance on it, So unfortunately, our bikes don't have like a lot of bikes have numbers where you can just like call out a number, and then that way, if you're at a lower level, you could either get to that goal of like a 5, like for instance, of like a 1 is easy, up 5 is hard. So I have different cues for that, but it is really, really for all levels. I've had 14-year-old, teenagers, and I've had 7-year-old, people, men, women, all different shape sizes. So it's just really, I'm a big believer. It's your pace, your level. And now I say that the whole entire class. So it's just, you're just stationary on this bike, and you can, I make you do like sprints and resistance and stuff like that. So it's just, and there's jumps, but you would have to like obviously do it to see what I mean. But yeah, I honestly just want to make it fun for you, so you want to come back to me, and not just totally kill you and not make you want to come back. What
about that drew? What about it drew you to it? What was it about that you were like, I like this a little more than like some of this other stuff?
Honestly, it's the entertainment part.
Okay.
It sounds so funny.
Making workouts fun.
Yeah, like I just like to I make, like I said, I make the routine to it, like certain songs,
Yeah, definitely.
But I like, honestly, it's a heck of a workout too. Like you almost, if you get past the seat part, because I ain't gonna lie, like that's probably the thing that hurts.
Sitting down on the seat.
That little seat, it's the worst, and I think that's the thing that every single person's scared of. They don't even want to deal with that. So once you get past that, it's a calorie burner. It's honestly 500 to 600 calories in and not even an hour, because by the time you warm up, by the time you cool down, by the time you have your little rest in between, if I had to guess, it's a 40-minute hard,
just work.
And again, it's what you make it, and I'll have people that come in, and I try to keep up with I call veterans, my regulars.
Right, right.
And I'll tell them the whole entire class, like, you cannot do that.
Don't,
Because you
right.
cannot, just work your way up and you'll get there. So I just love the entertainment part, if you will.
No, I get that for sure.
Just make it fun.
Because I think working out is intimidating to a lot of people because it's not kind of put out there as fun, right? It's like, oh, scary, you're over there hitting them heavy weights and or banging the med ball down or whatever. It's like it looks intense. Now there are some people like myself. I like the intensity stuff.
Same.
Like that's why I love football. I love intensity. I'm a aggression. I don't know why I crave that type of like go blow steam off and hit weights hard. But I get how so many people also can walk into a gym and not feel that same way. So I feel like making it fun, I feel like that's something for people that if you're somebody who's afraid to necessarily go in a gym every day, maybe starting with some of that stuff to kind of break that mold and shell. You know what I mean? I feel like that's something really good for them. And that's a very large group of people, to be honest, very large.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people are scared to go to the gym.
They're super scared, and they're super intimidated about, like, obviously if it's obviously GOMAD's co-ed, if you will. So like,
right.
There's so many of my friends or women that are like, I am not going there with all these guys. Right. Well, you know what? Yeah, it just. I think you just, if you want something bad enough, you're gonna go after it. And
I agree.
It's just if you want it,
I also think something, and this is kind of like this might sound mean and it's kind of hard to like get over sometimes, but I think I've told this to people that I've trained before. Sometimes you got to remember that most people there don't care what you're doing. I think you got to remember that, like, most people are locked into what they're doing, and they could care less what your workout looks like or what you're doing. They're not there to coach you. They're there. A lot of people go to the gym, got to go to work, got to go to get the kids, got to do this. They're there to get their workout in and get out.
Absolutely.
Right. So I think like realizing that, and I hate to say it, but like realizing that it's not about you when you go in there. It is about you getting your work in, but it's not like nobody in that gym is worried about you. You know what I mean?
That's exactly. And I've a handful of my friends that always say like, you're intimidating. And I'm like, what? I'm super fun and I'm Wayne Knight. What are you saying? They're like, I must have an RBF face because I'm that person. I don't have time. I have 4 kids. I'm a G where like I have to be placed.
Full-time job.
I literally am place to place. So when I'm in there and I'm like you,
get your business done.
I'm a girl version. Like I'm so into. I like the intensity. Like,
right.
If I could, I would play football right now. I want to so bad.
I love it. Don't say that though, because the Detroit Prowl is a professional women's football team, and they were on the show like about a month ago, and I'm telling you, like, they will recruit you if they listen to this show. I'm telling you.
I would try. I mean, maybe I couldn't do it, but I swear to you, I would play it tomorrow.
So listen, I know the Detroit Prowl tune in sometimes. Y'all heard it here first. You heard it. You heard it. You might get a message for that one.
I'm not kidding.
So I want to touch back on the spin class real quick though. So is this something people could do? Like, could you do this a few days a week as your overall fitness, or do you need something to supplement this? Like, how does this work for the average person, not for the for the person who's trying to go compete in an event? For the average person who's like, dude, I'm just trying to like lose some weight, stay healthy, be able to run around with energy with the kids type of deal.
Honestly, I would recommend at least 2 times a week, and only because it's a cardio. But I feel like if you have endurance, and I can make it an endurance class, if you will. So like it sounds like, oh, you're just getting on a bike and you're just sitting there and riding. And it's really not. Like, I can do a whole workout of resistance. And
tempo, right?
Yeah. Or I could do a whole class of sprint, which I never do. That's just, I can't, my ADD won't let me do it, But, and that's the thing too. I get on that bike and make up the class. I've never had a plan ever.
Okay.
And I've been doing it for over 10 years. Like,
really?
I just go in and I do it. And if they'll pick a song, so back to your question.
It's an interesting way to do it, though.
I've never.
Why, out of curiosity?
Honestly, because I'm a procrastinator. So I'm like, oh crap, I need to make it work. Okay, I'll just
go with the flow.
And I'll just, if it's 2-3 times a week, so the one day I'll go, okay, we're gonna work, which means I might kick your butt today.
Right.
And then I even have a list. It's called party, and that means that's my routines.
How long have you been doing it?
Almost 10 years.
So, you know, when you
10.
do it that long though,
Yeah.
too, you almost have a developed of like,
Yeah.
I know what to do now at this
Yeah.
point. Like to be honest, when it comes to like, for football game planning, we have to game plan,
Yeah.
but for like my individual drills every day, unless there's something the head coach comes to me and says like, I need you to do this today because we have this coming on this week. We really need to work on this.
Right.
But typically we show up over there and I'm like, you know what? Been coaching this position for almost 8-9 years now. This is what we do to be successful at it.
Yeah.
So I get it. There's like a level of like, I've been doing this for so long, I can just go with the flow and figure it out at this point. Experience trumps, you know.
100%. And like I said, like I'm a firm believer. If you have endurance under your belt, I just think that helps you with everything and anything. I really do. Like even if you're just wanting to, you know, you're done losing your weight, quote unquote, and you want to start getting tone, or I'm just it sounds really dumb kind of, but if you have endurance behind you and you built that up, it takes you so much farther than when you're lifting, when you're doing your cardio, when you're doing HIIT training or any type of thing. Like I'm all over the place. I mix it up constantly. I love doing bleachers, you know, I'll do that. And I do. That's a whole other game.
That's old school tough work.
That's
right there.
Old school, and I do
football stuff though.
Yeah, and I do.
We love them too.
I just don't do bleachers. Yeah, I do a whole bunch of stuff. So, but again, I just really believe if you have that behind you, and so 2 days a week would be great for an average person. And again, we're moving to the big gym actually because I was in the express gym. My bikes were
yeah.
And unfortunately, it was like in the middle. It was just, but now that we're gonna go in the big gym in the workout in the like aerobic room, I'm gonna add a morning class, and I'm gonna do some fun stuff where like it could be, you know, like a dirty 30 and core, where that way
that's cool.
The people of the world that are scared to try it for the whole hour, they're like, oh, I can never survive a whole hour. Well, guess what? Now you can try it for 30 minutes.
Yeah, definitely.
And then I'll give you something
can build
else.
Up to it, right?
Yeah, you build it, and then you might, you know, I just want to see if you like it.
So before we like continue on to the show, and sometimes we do this at the end, but it's a great point to put it in there. So right now at this moment, if somebody wants to sign up, somebody listens to this, and says, "Dang, that actually sounds pretty fun." Where and when right now can they go, and then when does that end and you kind of shift?
So the schedule does change depending on my kid's schedule, to be honest.
Okay.
But at this point right now, so we're moving the bikes Wednesday the 31st.
Oh, so soon.
Yeah,
Very
we're
soon.
moving the bikes Wednesday the 31st. So that Thursday is my first class at the big gym.
Okay,
so
perfect.
Right now it's Thursdays at 6 p.m.
Okay.
Sundays at 1 p.m. And then for right now, but I'm going to start once June gets going and we're over there, we're going to have a whole schedule, and I'm hoping Jason, I haven't talked to him yet, to be honest. So if you're listening,
shout out to Jason as well. Shout out to Jason, man. He's a good guy.
Yeah.
Shout out to Jason.
If you're listening, I have a lot of ideas. I just think we're going to put up a spin schedule. That way you can put it on their website and go look, because there might be another instructor at this point now that we're over there. So the thought is like, okay, they can go out and go on my website and see like, okay, Tuesdays, you know, cardio party spin with Chris, you know,
right.
You know, blah, blah, blah. So they'll have a whole schedule and it's a $10 drop-in fee at this point. We don't do like sessions or anything.
Okay.
But if I've been trying to build
which is a good price.
I've been trying to build it, in August 12th, actually, and I only know that because it's my birthday. He gave me those not gave me, but he got me my spin bikes last August. So it's not even a year old. And so it's strong. You know how it is with fitness, like the summer months and this and that. You know, you fall off. But I had a really good run from January to March.
Yeah.
But
definitely.
You know, and now that we're gonna get into the big gym, there's different ages and groups and people, and so I'm hoping somebody hears more this.
Clients. Right. This helps. Exactly. That's part of why we have you on, because somebody out there could be looking for something different than going to a gym. Like I said, everybody's looking for, everybody's also, I think people have learned to like have a routine as much as you can, but also be willing to like alter and adapt it. Like just because you may work out like Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 2 to 3 doesn't necessarily mean you have to do the same thing every Monday, every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, right? have a routine, but also like be willing to be like adaptable within it, right? And change and evolve a bit. I think like stuff like this is important for people like that. So when you go over there, like where the big gym, where is that located? Just I know where, but for people who are watching,
Jones Avenue, like Navarre by
Yep.
Navarre Field.
Okay,
Yeah,
so right across from Kroger and
Yep,
that
right
there. So
across
for
from-
anybody wondering where the bikes are going to be moving after the
Yes.
31st, it's at the GoMad. It's at the main one here in Monroe, or the main Monroe. I don't know if Toledo or Monroe is considered the main one, but
no, Monroe is.
Monroe is okay. The main GoMad in Monroe.
I opened it. I did. I opened it with them, and
That's awesome.
I had a hiccup and left a little for a second, but I'm back. So
that's
great.
awesome.
It's great. Yeah. But on your point, like you mentioned earlier how like you should change up, and I wholeheartedly believe that too. Like you can't just, your body's going to get sedentary, your body's going to get adapted, your body's going to get used to it, and they're going to be your plateau issue. You're like, so I don't know why. And honestly, obviously nutrition, which is a whole nother ball game, of course. But
that was a question today, was how important are eating habits and sleeping habits to see growth, and how do you prioritize those things? That was a that was a question today.
Oh, I'm sure it was, and I had a feeling. And here's my thought, my take on all that. Like, so my big, you said like the quote, like I go back to a quote. It's so cheesy, but it's from my softball high school days. Like,
okay,
I had a coach that was amazing, and it was, we had t-shirts, and it was hard work, dedication, no excuses. And I've lived by that for, of course, showing my age, but a very long time, 30 years. 30 years I've lived by that. And it's true, because I think you make time what you want to make time for.
Yeah.
And I think people make
agree.
so many excuses. Like, if you lived a day in my life, people are like, how on God's earth are you walking right now? Like, I fit so much of it, and I choose that. I understand that. But guess what? I also choose health, and I fit that in.
And find a way.
Yep. There's 168 hours in a week. If you can't find even 6 hours a week.
Right.
You know, if mama's happy, everybody's happy. That whole thing. So honestly, I'm going to be completely honest. I am not great. I get barely no sleep. So sleep is so important. Unfortunately, I don't get it. So,
I get that. Sad. I mean, to be honest with you, I'm in that same position. Yeah. Truthfully, I preach about it, and especially on the show, and people could probably call me a hypocrite. But I'm like,
I would die.
I also think there's certain times in life, just my opinion here, but I think there's certain times in life where you almost go on runs. So you go on a 10-year run where you just work your ass off and you work a ton of hours and you don't sleep. And maybe there's a 5-year run where you prioritize that 8 hours, that 8-9 hours of sleep, or you take that extra vacation that year instead of not taking it. Like, I think there's these times that are selected at the right time in life in different situations. And right now I'm in the middle of that run, because I'm still in my first 20 years of coaching football, and there's so much I want to do that I just can't. Like, I can't. There's no time right now to take that. But I have said this, like before, I've mentioned this numerous times, like in a decade, 5 to 10 years, when I've done what I wanted to do here and kind of gotten to another level of where I'm trying to go, as far as maybe coaching in collegiate level in a weight room for football and different things. Right. There's going to be a time where I do tend to be able to take a few vacations here and there, and maybe sleep in on those vacations and different things like that. Cause it will come in runs. And I think people have to also remember that. But I'm the same way. I do. If you can get sleep, get it. And I'm also like, if you are people like us, like, there's no shame in like a 2.5 hour nap if you have a window.
So listen, I literally am like a cartoon. So I start work at 4 a.m., which is in Harrisburg. So I leave my house at 3:15 in the morning.
Yeah, you got to drive.
Yeah. So, I'm trying to go to bed at a decent hour, and it's but I'm always tired. I'm like a cartoon. I'll get home and I go straight to my bed, and I do the 20 to 30 minute power deal. Right. And I pop back up and I have to go at it. And guess what? Right, I get up, I get my workout in, and it varies. Definitely. I'm not no perfect it's not an everyday regimen, because life, it's life.
Yeah, so, definitely.
My kid might need something on, and it derails me. Then you get mad at him, but then you whatever.
Right.
but I fit it in because if he has a game that night, then guess what?
Then you
Now I
can't.
already have it done. Did I want to?
You
No.
can't
Did I
go
want to
that
sleep
night,
another
right.
hour and a half? Probably. But
Yep.
again, you make time what you want to make time for.
No, definitely.
And on the nutrition end, like it's the hardest thing on earth to do. It really is.
I agree.
If that was easy,
I 100% agree.
we wouldn't even nobody would need us, or nobody would need me really. I mean, just for the
Right.
entertainment exercise wise.
No,
like,
but yeah, definitely.
it's
definitely.
just my biggest advice for that would be, and again, I might be the hypocrite because I don't meal prep, but if you can even just do 3 days at a time, like get that just so you can grab and go. That way you're not getting up and going, oh, I don't have anything healthy. I'm gonna grab crap.
Eliminate decision making and just have it there.
And it's easier said than done, I'm sure. For a lot of people.
Definitely.
But and
myself
just,
included.
Yeah, and just make that sacrifice here and there. Like, fine, don't eat those fries today. Eat. Definitely. Just in the little changes, because I also
switch it out for some fruit, some veggies.
Yeah, and I believe if you do this whole cold turkey, like, I'm going to go on this major diet, and I just don't think you stick with it, right?
It's tough.
It's unrealistic to do that.
No, I agree.
I believe like you can't do that all your life. Like I try to do which is kind of embarrassing, but I'll do a photo shoot. And it's just for my motivation.
Yeah, definitely.
Where I have to diet like a competition.
Right.
And honestly, I'm crabby. It's awful. My kids hate me, I'm sure. And it's hard. It's so
I get
hard.
That though. Definitely.
And I'll do it for 8 weeks. And it sounds like nothing, but I'm telling you, 8 weeks is a long time when you're doing.
That's 2 months of straight every day, every meal.
But it's unrealistic to do that every day.
Yeah.
But then I have this.
Because you break, man. You get to that like.
Yeah.
I hate to be like cliche with the cheat days thing or the cheat moments, but it's like to be perfect is really hard.
It's so hard.
You can't. You almost have to have those breaks so you don't completely collapse.
Yeah.
Because I think that's what happens with a lot of people is they end up doing it for so long, and then they get one little taste of something or whatever, and then it's like, oh wow, this is all, and then it's over. They just go right back to all of it. So I think allowing yourself that little bit of leeway.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, and if you're having that crave that day, do it. Take that bite, if you will, or if you can have the willpower, just take that bite or whatever, and then get back on. Like, don't, right. And it just a little cutbacks is
definitely,
and make it a lifestyle change. Just cliche,
right?
Make it the lifestyle change, and then if you need to really go at it, then make that window 4 weeks where, okay,
100%.
I'm doing good.
Go on that run.
Yeah, because if it's a plateau or something, you need to shock it, whatever you want to say. But,
right.
Nutrition is the hardest thing. It really is.
It is. It definitely is. It's hard for what you just said. It's also hard to just, for the people that are like all into kind of managing their calories and different things of that nature. It's really, it's difficult too in the aspect of like, life. So mom's birthday, y'all go out for mom's birthday, you go to Applebee's or you go to this place or this place or this place. Not a sponsor, could be, just kidding, Applebee's, but but all jokes aside, like you go eat that, all of a sudden you got 3,000 calories for the day from one meal and you're looking like crap, I only had this much allotted for, you know what I mean? So I think like that's the hard part to manage too, is you got so much going on, and we all in the summer especially, we all like to have fun. We all like to go out to this place and this place, and I'm one of them people who loves to like sit outside in the summer and eat. Like I'm a big like lunch on a patio, big time. Like I love doing that. So that makes it even more hard now to like manage but you can even make certain decisions that you just said, just to kind of piggyback and finish up this topic. Like, so for example, like when you go to Northside, I work at Northside. I do maintenance there. So when you go to Northside, right, you can sub your fries for carrots or different vegetable options. So even certain different things like that, instead of getting, maybe instead of getting the biggest, burger with bacon and all the sauces, maybe you just get a chicken sandwich that day with lettuce and tomato.
You don't want that, but I mean, it's hard.
I get that for sure.
You look around and everybody gets to eat the good food. And
but I think that depends on what you just said too, though. What stage are you in? Are you really trying to break the plateau? Right. Eat the chicken sandwich. Are you trying to, is it all right now where you're feeling pretty good about yourself, right? And you're like, I could eat that burger today. I'll get back tomorrow. Like you said, I'll get back tomorrow. I'll clean it up. because again, I think you got to allow yourself those little.
Absolutely.
And this is not to be like this, all due respect to people who are listening. This is coming from somebody who's in very good shape. So this is not like you're in good shape. This is not somebody who, this is somebody saying this stuff who knows how to stay in shape. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and it's hard. And obviously the age thing gets you, and
It
that's
makes it harder, right?
too. Like it really is. I used to be that person. Oh, I can do what I want. Da, da, da. Not anymore. You know, I'm almost 50, so it's
when you get older,
it's bad. Yeah.
Yeah, I turned 30 last week, so and I'm feeling it though. I'm like, can't eat this no more. Can't do this no more.
Wait till you get 24
I'm like,
years
what the hell is going on?
Well, and the little side note too, one little nutrition deal. The little tricks of the trade too. If you know you're going out, like even a group friend group dinner or whatever, maybe eat your healthy meal, like, or something, get something in your stomach. That way you're not going to overeat. You're not going to make these bad choices. That way,
definitely.
I mean, it sounds stupid, but at least you're kind of cutting back the crap food that you could possibly get.
100%.
And I've taken,
100%.
when I was training at one time, my son graduated that year. It was I'm sure he was embarrassed, but every graduation party I would take my food to the grad parties. It was embarrassing to him, but you know what? that is dedication. Whatever if you want it, you'll do it.
But a lot of times at grad parties, you're talking about like red pasta, and you're talking about like fried chicken, the cookies. Yeah, you're talking about. Usually, it's not healthier. There's nothing ever healthy to eat, right?
There's gonna be a veggie tray, and guess what? I need protein, so. Yeah,
100%. And also, am I going to be the asshole to eat your whole veggie tray? Like, do any of y'all want some of this broccoli, or am I eating this whole thing? Right, I'm going to go sit with this. Like, I don't want to be that guy when I show up. I can't.
Right.
No, I totally get that, 100%.
If you're not embarrassed, take your food.
Definitely. So we're going to keep going on here. We got a few more. We got about 15 minutes here. So some of these we kind of talked about already, but this is something that I always ask everybody. I think is important just to get thoughts out there. Our kids look up to us, right? And there's a lot of people that they idolize today. This generation, even me growing up, I had idols and different things other than even my grandfathers or my grandmother or my mother or different things. I had idols as well, but these kids will always idolize people. Who did you grow up idolizing, or who even today? Like, who do you idolize?
Gosh, that's honestly a hard question.
Or who is very impactful on your life? This can be anybody.
Honestly, for me, it's not even like one. Oh my gosh, it's kind of hard. Honestly, sports. Okay. It sounds vague. I mean, but I took on to sports. I grew up with 5 brothers, and I'm the only girl, baby.
All right.
And it was a big joke. Like, my dad finally got his boy because I was the only one that played sports in high school.
No kidding.
Yeah, and so I excelled in softball, but so I just really think that was my
kind of your outlet.
my role model, because like
sports. I love that though.
Yeah, I honestly. It's so cheesy. I apply that to my whole entire life, even at Costco. Like, I used to stock before I drove a forklift. Yeah. And nobody cares. Nobody knows nothing. But guess what? I wanted to do so many boards, like stock so many boards, and it made me so competitive because
definully.
Who cares? Nobody cares if I did 100 boards or not. Like, they're like, good for you, ding. You worked your butt off, but this person only did 2. Like, I won. Like,
right, competitive though.
Yeah,
but that's what sports builds in you. It builds that competitive spirit. I actually love your answer, just because every time I ask that, everybody's got a different answer. Mom, dad, LeBron, Kobe, whoever. But I think because I've always been a believer that sports is an outlet for kids. And I'm not saying every kid should play sports, but I think if they're not, they should be involved in something. Robotics, chess, music. You got to have something. As a kid, put them in something. It could even be crafting, but they got to be doing something to make the mind. Drawing. That's exactly my rule. You got to be engaged, right? And I think I love that answer, because sports is it saves lives, to be honest. And it's such a guidance and just a way for kids to grow up under fundamental structure and different things of that nature.
And they they get close to people, whether it's the coach, whether
100%.
it's the teammate, whether it's the
Yep.
what, it could be a different teammate's parent. What if that
Yeah,
parent,
definitely.
I mean,
Oh, 100%.
there's so many.
That's big, the one you just said. Not even thought about often, but big.
Yeah, because
Big.
I know so many stories of kids who doesn't have a great home life, and it just
Right.
and unbelievable that they stuck through these sports that I know that they played,
100%.
and they were insane awesome at it. And it just breaks my heart. Like I've always said, I wish I could just had enough money to have a house, like
to be able to bring them.
Like
I've said that about
yes!
coaching. I've said that about coaching.
Let them come there and just be like themselves, and let them feel homey, and let them
have
feel
a comfortable sanctuary.
We'll go outside and play wiffle ball. Like I just want the family part. I know we're getting off track, but I just
no, you're good. You're good.
Honestly, I just think that there's so many different things about any sport. It could be an individual sport, because guess what? Now you got to work hard for yourself. Whether it's wrestling, whether it's this, whether it's a I don't know, diving. I don't know, like all that.
Golf, golf, definitely. Golf is both, actually, especially at the high school level. Now in pros, it's every man for himself, every woman for herself. But in high school, you are part of a team, and even in college, you are part of a team. So you have an individual score, and then you have your team score.
Right.
So even that, I mean, and I think to quick note piggyback, I think even kids that have good homes and good situations, I think even just, a lot of mom and dads work 9 to 5 or 10 to 10, and I think they are exposed to so many different relationships, friendships, even like you mentioned. I think the big one, like parents, the friend of the parent's friend, or the friend's parents. Sorry. But I think even that is like, because what if mom and dad's working 10 to 10 and you grew up your entire life with your best friends, going over there all the time. I had that kind of life growing up to a degree. There was a couple people that I grew up out in Erie with, and my grandma and my parents, and they were either working or whatever was, there was a lot of stuff going on when I was growing up. And I grew up down at those places with their families as well. So no, I agree. I think that's an awesome answer. Real quick, before we get out of this question, before we got a few more, but what about your coach? You mentioned your coach. What was she like in softball? Was she somebody that you looked up to?
Well, it was actually Coach Vince Rossi.
Okay.
Yeah, he actually, it's funny because the assistant coach was Coach Carducci, and
okay.
I wasn't. He was like more like he was like the discipline guy, but he was more laid back, of course, assistant wise. But Coach Rossi, everybody's scared to death of him. Like he was just intense, and he was just. But I love the fact that he held you accountable. Like it didn't matter if you were a freshman, if you were a senior, if you did this,
holding you to the same standard.
Yeah, and you know what? I
love that.
I just liked it. I loved it, and like we've talked about 100 times, like clearly I have a lot of energy. I've always have. And I just wanted to work hard for him, and I just wanted to do good for him. And because he just made me, kept me on my toes, I guess you would say.
Definitely.
Like, and I think he had some backdoor stuff, like kind of made you go against a couple. Like there was a girl, she was older than me. Her name was Debbie Chavis. If you're listening, I know you're laughing. She was my nemesis because we were the same like size, and we were fast. We were the same same
type of athlete.
Better to me in some things, of course, but I know he kind of played us again, just to push us, just to make us better.
Right, definitely.
But it was fun to me, and I just think he just was like the hard-nosed but good coach, if you will.
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
I just love that he
hard-nosed because he had expectations.
Yeah, he wanted to win, and who wouldn't?
Yeah, definitely.
So, and
no, I agree.
And like I said, back in my day, it's just like that we're in Monroe. I went to Monroe, so it was class A, whatever. So
that's big time. So
and I ended up being all state, but it's just he's to this day he'll see me, and I don't see him very often around town, but when I do, he gives me the biggest hug, and it's just great, right?
So that's awesome.
30 years,
that's
30
awesome.
years out, and you're still connected to him.
Right. Shout out to Coach. That's incredible. Definitely. Yeah. And that old school way is still okay. We could get back to a little more of the kind of learning how to shape people to win and be successful and learn from mistakes and not suffer from them. And we got to get back to that. And those coaches like that are super important. And the coaches today who are, younger than him and still doing this, it's those people are just important because we're getting a little off track here and we got to get back on track to a degree. So especially with the youth, we got to shift back onto a different path with how we build their character. And as much as that discipline and that stuff might have sucked then, it's kind of the, let's do what's hard now so that later it's easier, so that you know how to handle things in life, so that you have some things instilled in you. And
it's crazy how you carry it. You don't realize how much you carry from that. Like if you're into your athletics, like you're just on the team,
jersey wearing.
Yeah. And no disrespect, because those kids might, need to do something, whatever. But if
it's keeping them out of trouble.
Yeah, too. And if you're in it and you want this sport, if that's your sport, it's crazy how much stuff can carry on that you learn from that or take from that. Like it's just, and I do it to this day. There's so many things. It's cheesy, but it's what I do.
But the kids don't realize it at their age a lot of times. And so I think our voices, like shows like this, and even the different, you hear all types of people, like different athletes, especially, that'll talk to kids at whether it's camps or showcases, and they'll explain to these kids the same stuff that or same thing that we're just saying about that, is like, you don't see it yet. It's why I always try to talk to parents and kids before they quit. I'm like, before you quit, explain to me what the problem is. And if it's something that, now sometimes there's some real situations that you really have to think about and address and think like, is this really best? But there's a whole lot more situations where it's like, I want you to understand that if you walk away, there's a lot more you're losing than just this season. It's actually way deeper than just playing football this season or basketball or whatever you play. It's deeper than that. So I try to always, even parents, I'm like, parents, a lot of times they'll pull them if grades drop. They're like, I'm pulling them off the team. I'm like, stop, don't. I'm like, why don't we work on options that, whether it's a tutor, whether they just come and sit in the coach's office and work on their homework, because maybe that's the problem. Maybe they just literally can't focus, and we'll shut the door. We'll get them help if they, whatever it is. Like, let's look at it before we just pull you away, because I try to tell parents this all the time. Pulling them away could actually break character worse than keeping them in. Whereas they sometimes think, oh, it's because of football or basketball why that's happening. No, it's really because character flaws actually need to be addressed, and those can actually be addressed in sports. You know what I'm saying?
I honestly, my son is a prime example of this, and
I was too growing up to be honest.
Yeah, same me. And but his his dad and I are we're divorced, but he's that's the first thing he says, and I'm like, I'm with you. I'm like, let's get him help. Because if you take that away from him, or any athlete, what if that's their scapegoat? What if that's their thing? What if they need that?
Which for so many it is. Yeah.
So it's just
definitely
I'm
agree.
100% with that. Like I get mad at that, because I think he just don't want to.
Yeah.
Like some kids just don't want to do it. They just rather play baseball all day, or
right.
It's not fun for them. Well, of course it's not, but life isn't fun, really. So,
100%, yeah. And that goes back to what we said too, is like, make sure you're invested in something that to me, like too, if a kid comes to me and he's like, Coach, I just really love these two sports. Like and I know he's literally like every day going to practice lifting weights. Right. It's hard, because then I'm sitting there like, this guy's really working hard. He's got his grades up. It's like, but that's why every situation's kind of different too.
Sure.
But I definitely agree with you. So last question before we get out of here. We talk about this subject every single week. It's super important. What is your advice for people to improve mental health, and how much does exercise help, in your opinion?
So for me, my all-time opinion is, so I think it's crazy important. Like, just the whole, like, it takes that, whatever, I'll say 30 minutes to an hour, whatever, how much time you have.
Right.
If you're in there just getting on the treadmill, you know, you're meant to just let everything go for that 30 minutes and just get the endorphins going and just get those feel goals, you know, get those feel good feelings going and just
100%.
And then, you know, it just clears your mind. And like that, honestly, for me, when I work out, it's my time. It's my mental health time. It's mine where to go. Guess what? You know what? I do have a kabillion things to do, and I might have a lot of crap going on. But this is my time, and I'm gonna use it, and I'm just gonna let it all go.
Yeah, definitely.
And just work on it. And it's cliche, cheesy as always, but it's 100%. I've talked to many people, and they'll tell me the exact same words. They're like, I have to get in the gym. Like and once you make it your habit or quote unquote your lifestyle, it's almost something you have to do. Like it just makes you feel good. It makes you feel so good. And even those days, the best days are what? Like I'm sure you've done it, or 100 people have done it, or I've done it a million times. I'll go like, oh my God, I'm like a 2-year-old. I'm like, I do not want to be here. I don't want to do it.
Oh yeah.
And guess what? It's the best workout ever because I made myself do it. And
you feel accomplished after a different level.
So your mental health, honestly, it just goes hand in hand. Like and I don't want to be the person that pushes like, oh, you better work out. It's so, you know, it's this, it's, you know, it's mental. No, it's just because you're getting in shape, and which makes you feel good all the way around. And then your mental state's just like, you know.
Definitely. No, I agree.
That's just my opinion, but I think it's super important. But
I agree 100%. I think it's one of the most important things that you can do. If not, it's got to be right up there with the most.
Yeah.
It has to be. And it comes down to like, even if you don't hit a gym, but you go on a walk 5 days a week for 45 minutes.
Do something outside.
That's
do something.
I mean, and there's really no excuse. I mean, I was just at Vivian Road before we get you out of here.
That's my favorite spot.
But I was over at the park. Yeah.
In the hill.
So
camp's out there.
I love the hill, and I also love the sand. So I'll do the sand, low impact for athletes. But I was out there, tennis courts. There's like a guy had to be 70, 80 years old. And they got the one wall and he's just out there by himself, back and forth. So, I mean, you just, like you said earlier, I think it comes back to kind of your point from earlier is just like, you have to find time and do it. It has to be a priority. That guy is 75 years old and at any moment could be like, you know, I'm real old right now. And I don't, no offense to, you know,
right.
But he really could be like, I'm really older and I don't know if I really want to go outside in the sun and hit this ball, but he chooses every day because you can tell the guy was in decent shape. He wants to be healthy. And I think, you know, just his energy, his body language, he looked like a pretty happy gentleman to be out there. So I think it's important.
The longevity of him just wanted, and
at that age,
honestly, it's unreal. If you really go to at Go Mad, like in the mornings and stuff, there's a handful of the same crew that goes there.
Yeah, definitely.
And there's a gentleman, I think he just turned 90 something, 91, 90, 91. I forget his name.
He's still in there.
So forgive me because I'm trying to give him a shout out, but
that's incredible.
Honestly, he rides his bike to the gym. And then
he works out.
And I ain't gonna lie, it's not like hardcore, but
but
it don't matter.
Doing anything.
He rides a bike there, does a thing, and has to leave him on a bike.
That's incredible.
Are you kidding me right
now?
Yeah,
that's incredible.
And
at 91.
I've taken a picture of him secretly and put on. I'm like, if this ain't motivation, I don't know what is.
Yeah, you got to find a way to do it. You got to find a way to do it. You have to.
I would be embarrassed. I'm like, oh God.
To piggyback off before we get out of here, because I want to let you get to your game here, but there's a commercial that I've posted a few times. It's an older gentleman, and his daughter, in a nutshell, his daughter has a grandbaby, or he has a grandchild. His daughter has a child, a little girl, and he gets up and he starts by like lifting something light up one time. As soon as he gets out of bed, he does it once and then he sits down. The next time he gets up, he does a little more. Next time he's carrying it out. So he does it all the way through the winter so that when his grandchild is born, he then lifts her up. And it's like, I'm telling you, if you've never watched, I'll send it to you.
Oh my
And anybody that wants to see it, if you
Yes.
never watched it, it is by far the greatest
I can't
commercial
tell, yeah.
I've ever seen. Like
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I can't even speak to the level of
Oh,
emotion that I felt when I watched it. And it's 3 minutes, and I was like,
Jesus.
3 minutes has me absolutely tore up
Yeah,
right now. Like I
got
am
the
like,
chills
it's
from it.
incredible though. I'll send it
Yeah.
to you.
But that's just like a couch to 5K. Like seriously.
Yeah, definitely.
If you want,
Definitely.
we could be here forever. Yeah.
So this was a great conversation. I appreciate you for coming in.
I'm happy to be
So
here.
we're gonna drop some links before you get out of here. I'm gonna have you go last. I'm gonna have you drop any links you might want, and then also I'm gonna have you kind of speak on behalf of GoMad if you would.
Yeah.
So Kennedy Health and Wellness you can find on Facebook and Instagram. Coach K Training you can find. We have a group on Facebook. You can also find me at Coach K93. The podcast for the Instagram for this podcast is Kicking It with Coach K. So we have a different or an Instagram account that we do different things with every week. Go ahead and check that out. Also, make sure you get on Facebook and Instagram and check out Brain Jerk Entertainment. Again, all their events posted on there. Every show, this show, plus anything else they do throughout the week, they will share it on those pages. Make sure you check it out. Where can we find you and GoMad at?
You can definitely find me GoMad, Instagram, Facebook, GoMad, and then GoMadFitness.com, of course, on the website. So yeah, I'm there. I'm gonna be teaching that spin class. So come see me.
Definitely.
Check them all out.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So again, and before we get out of here, before you all, in case y'all missed the earlier part of the show or you forgot, they're going to be moving the bikes to the main gym on the 31st. That's on that main gym across from Kroger at GoMad Fitness. So make sure you stop in and go do a spin class. It's different, fun. Again, she said she'll keep it entertaining, exciting. Make sure you get in there and get some energy out. Again, feel good, get your health and wellness up. That's what this episode today was about. I appreciate you coming in today. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. It was fun, actually. I was nervous at times, but it was so fun.
It ends up being a great conversation,
Yeah,
so definitely
I
appreciate you. Guys, we're back at 6 o'clock. Make sure you tune in with Coach Javon Johnson. He is in the house here soon. Make sure you tune in. Thank you all